We're still in the installation phase. Had a good week last week. Hopefully we'll have another good one today. I mean, I'm just kind of taking it one step at a time. We're still in the infancy of this thing in regards to this spring. But the kids have had 3 good workouts, so anxious to see them again today. I am pleased that you guys got to spend some time with Joey today. I know he's a special young man, an adult, kind of along the same lines as some of those great seniors we had last year. And obviously he's been through some personal tragedy that he's trying to highlight or bring some attention to. So awfully happy that he's on our football team, and I know he's got the ear and mind and heart of many of his teammates. So fire away.
You have a left-footed Australian punter in a spot where you need somebody. What have you seen from him, and then where's your confidence in how quickly he'll be ready?
Well, I've seen him punt the ball, the days we've done punt. I mean, it's a long ways away from giving him a full evaluation. I expect him to be ready to play the first football game. But he's done a good job so far.
When you're scouting that position, is it as simple as hang time, distance, or are there things you're looking for when you, saw his video from Australia?
Well, I mean, that's certainly part of it. Hang time, distance, ability to get the ball off quickly. That's certainly a part of it. But, as you can imagine, the transition is somewhat different than it would be for somebody from the States. So we're trying to make sure that we have a handle on his ability to handle the transition the best that we can. It's another part of just trying to figure it out. Is he a competitive kid? Is this something he really, really wants to do? That sort of stuff.
I know it's not like you have a game to play tomorrow or anything, but with Houchen out for the spring, pretty young, I think defenseman, pretty experienced. What is that like, having that little experience in that position for a full 15 practices?
Well, it's what is it like?
I wouldn't say it'd be concerning, but I would imagine you would like a little more experience there.
Sure, absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, it's nice to know that we're getting a couple of those guys back, It's great to get reps for the young guys, and we've got some young signees that we're going to need to grow up in a hurry as well. You'd like to have the full complement of everyone out there on both sides of the ball, but that's just not going to happen, So I think we approach it more from it's a fact of life, and that's the way it is. And it's our job to develop the guys that are out there. I'm a big believer in that, in terms of not just always measuring yourself against the fifth-year senior that's a good player, but it's the guys behind him, having those guys ready to play. So, it may be somewhat of a blessing in disguise, when it all is said and done.
You said that those guys were going to get more reps than they really wanted in the spring. How have they handled that increased workload?
Well, it's been good. I mean, we've only practiced one time in anything other than pajamas. I mean, we've been in helmets the first 2 days and one practice in shoulder pads. So, I mean, we haven't hit the grind of, where you really, really worry about that sort of stuff. But we will. But they've done a good job so far, rotating in.
I know Brad mentioned that he was pleased with the depth at the receiver position, at least the numbers that you have right now. But with Jalen out and with CJ out, both of which it seems like you knew about prior to spring, obviously, did that give you pause about moving Divine to the secondary? Was that, I think, part of the conversation?
Well, I mean, we moved him, because we felt like that was best for Divine and ultimately best for the football team in the long run.
Has he worked at all at receiver? Is he doing both at all?
No. I mean, really, we try to evaluate each one of those kids and their future and their potential, and try and do what's best for the team and what's best for them, and that was the decision. In the short term, it may lead us to be a little bit thin, but in my estimation, that's what's best for what we're doing here, and for Divine.
What do you like about Eric Kumba and what has his development been, in any years?
Well, Eric's done a good job of being consistent. He's continued to plug away on a daily basis. He's an intelligent guy. You can move him around, and we'll continue to do that throughout the spring. But he's got good size and strength, and he's continued to develop into a savvy player.
Do you see, you've got so many young receivers that we've talked about, do you see aspects of Isaiah Ford, Bucky Hodges, the things they were doing, these guys either mimicking or trying to learn?
No, I don't see any similarities, no.
Has that process started yet this spring, or might be later?
No, later on in the spring, we'll take a look at him, but no, we haven't started it yet. He's still trying to figure out where to line up in the corner.
Talk about Joey, he kind of seemed like he took up some of the leadership management. Have you had a kicker be in that role before? For one of our guys who look at a kicker being in that kind of role?
He's certainly the exception to the rule in terms of what a kicker normally looks like and acts like. He's a leader in the weight room, leader in the off season. So I haven't had too many of them. I've had some good athletes there that have been good players. The kid we had at Memphis is a very good player, Jake Elliott, and was growing into that role. But to me, Joey's different than that even, because of his love of the weight room and confidence in speaking up. He's not afraid to speak up and has done a great job, and I want to empower him to do that. I don't think he needs to worry about what position he plays to be a leader.
How much has he talked to you about this fundraiser for his brother, and how do you plan on supporting him in that? Well,
he's talked to me off and on. He grabs me, kind of keeps me up to date. My message to him is we'll do whatever we need to do to help you. I'm going to take my cues from you, Joey, as you need help, or is there anything if there's anything you need, we stand ready to support you and help you in any way possible.
Can you talk about what the game of football does for Joey in this hard time? We have a tragedy that people go through, and sometimes sports is there for an outlet to distract. Can you talk about maybe what you've seen football how it has helped Joey?
Well, I don't know. It's a little bit difficult for me because my frame of reference of Joey, was not during this thing that he lived through. So I've just seen him for a little over a year now. And I'm not sure I can articulate how it's helped him. I can tell you this, he's very much ingrained in what we're doing. He's very much ingrained in the team, in the culture of our program. I think this means a lot to him. He's got a lot of friends on the team, and he's got the ear of many players. So I'm not sure I can speak to how that's helped him. I just know from what I've seen, he's all in. It's a big part of his life. Not the only part of his life. He's got other aspects, that or other interests that he's interested in, but certainly a big part.
With Terrell now playing next to, at free safety, next to a couple of guys at his own position that are as great as it gets, do you guys kind of lean on Terrell to kind of bring those guys along a little bit, Reggie and Khalil?
Well, you certainly expect him to have, be more comfortable out there early, even though he's in a new position, just because he's played so much. And you expect him to be kind of the quarterback of the secondary, and he's done a good job of it. So, yes, is the answer.
Now that you've had a couple practices to see the quarterbacks, do you feel comfortable with the talent level that you have there, the depth that you have at that position?
Well, I like the way they've gone to work in the first 3 days. I think there's some talent there. I'm much more concerned about the supporting cast, I can tell you that much. I really like the way those 3 kids have worked, and I still don't know who it's going to be or any of that stuff, but to me, we'll figure out who's going to start and all that sort of stuff, and but we've got to find some guys to play alongside them. My biggest concern is that we'll find somebody to play quarterback, and we won't be good enough around them to kind of highlight their skill set. Last year we didn't have that problem. Gerard played really well and was very effective for us, and we had people around him to help highlight those skill sets.
Either one of those three quarterbacks any more demonstrative or take charge type guy than any of the other two? I mean, Josh, obviously, I know he's got a year.
Yeah, I don't know that. I mean, I think they all have leadership qualities. I think it's different right now for them at practice as opposed to off-season conditioning because they're thinking about what they're supposed to be doing and focused on that. I don't think they certainly haven't reached the point where they can start to worry about everybody else and what they're doing yet. But I will say in the off season, when they're not thinking about all that sort of stuff, you can see those qualities. They're in there. They'll come out as they get, with all three of them, as they get more comfortable with what they're supposed to do.